I am totally bored when Rob is not chasing me around the house.
She just wants a visa.
I'm high maintenance. I want to cuddle all the time. I demand it.
Are you talking truth to power right now?
I don't love you anymore.
Are we going to get into our private lives?
It depends on us if we're going to go deep down there.
Well, you want to talk about the bedroom? You want to talk about our romantic life? You want to talk about money?
Age gap relationship, the myth and the reality.
What if I don't want to talk about our bedroom life?
Hello everyone, we're back for another episode of Fly Me to the Philippines.
It's February and Valentine's Day is coming up, Chrissy.
What's your plan?
My plan. I'm thinking about writing a book. Stay tuned for that. But today, it's all about the mythology, the myths versus the reality of age gap relations. So now there's no getting around it. I've got a 31-year-old Miss Philippines here at my side, looking rather ravishing with her wine glass. And I'm a 68-year-old dad bod American who came here to the Philippines about 2 years ago and started over a new life. And now we're here to tell you what is the real deal. You ready to get serious?
I'm ready.
And we're going to tell you how we feel about these myths and how it's worked out. We got married 3.5 months ago.
And if it's real in our relationship or not.
Is the honeymoon over?
Maybe.
Oh, let's find out. Let's find out. Myth number 1.
Ladies first?
Ladies first. I'll hold the glass. Maybe I'll get some.
Okay.
Good. Yes.
It's all about the money.
What?
So age gap relationship is really all about the money.
That's what they say. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Comment below. I bet you half of you think it's all about the money. There's nothing but transactional business going on here.
Rob, where's my yacht and mansion?
Oh, it's on back order.
Already paid or COD?
COD. Listen, if you were here for the money, you picked the wrong guy. And I got to tell you, Chrissy, we have somebody we know who was busted, no pension, absolutely busted. And a young Filipina in her late 20s, she married him and they have 3 children today. And she's not in it for the money, I can tell you that.
It's something that people cannot really avoid of thinking.
Yeah,
because we're in an age gap relationship, they will think, what's the reason why you're a young Filipina, you can find someone that is young, and why would you be in an age gap relationship?
Well, I love myself. I think I'm rather special, so I can understand why you'd want to be with me, but they might not understand it. I can tell you this, Chrissy. Everywhere on the planet, there's an economy between men and women. And if you're in the West and you want to look down your nose at an age gap relationship, I challenge you to lose your job and be unemployed for a year. And you'll find out why there's a 55% divorce rate in certain counties, like the one I lived in Arizona. Women, they size you up when you're in college. You're supposed to be a doctor. They size you up when your father owns a big fancy business. If you think women are not in it for the security, you're wrong. There's this famous YouTube of these 2 detectives in Las Vegas, and they have this crazy hot matrix. And they say, oh, how crazy is the woman and how hot is she, and, you know, would you date her? And then the guy at the end says, what about men? How do women evaluate men? He goes, oh, that's so simple. On one graph, he says how handsome he is, and on the other graph, how much money he has. And he says, women, if he's a 5 or higher, marry him on money. If he's at 8 or higher on looks, but he's less than 5, date him. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. What do you think?
Yeah, you know what? I always say that people always have something to say. Like if a woman will marry a jobless man, people will think, why did you marry him? He's jobless. If the woman will marry a man that has money, they will say, she married him because he have money.
You're touching my breasts.
Next.
Okay. Older men are controlling.
You're not really controlling, but you want to be the boss in bed.
Well, Chrissy, I always thought it was a little bit of a team effort.
It's a give and take, right?
It's some give and take, yeah. Team.
Do you want to talk about that deeply? Do you want to reveal it to them?
Well, I think there's a myth that a man gets to be 68 years old and maybe he's not performing anymore. You want to dispel that myth?
Well, I think they know already.
Okay.
Here in the Philippines, I'm going to tell you guys, here in the Philippines, if the woman keeps blooming and blooming and blooming, they said they have a good sex life.
No blue pill.
So if I don't bloom, if I look ugly, comment down below if I look ugly or I look blooming.
Team effort in the bedroom.
Then you have the answer.
Okay, team effort in the bedroom. You're up.
But yeah, what about that? Being
Controlling?
Controlling.
Well, it's hard. I was a vice president of a Global 100 company, and it's hard for me sometimes to accept outcomes that I know that if more effort is put in or more work is put into something, more preparation is put in. So it's hard for me. But, here in the Philippines, they do things differently, and you got to let some things go.
Yeah, that's why if you feel like yourself, you are a little bit controlling, then you better be selective of the Filipina also that want to be controlled, because if she's not, she's gonna rebel.
Yeah, because in general, Filipinos don't like anyone to give them feedback. Like, nobody will say you're too loud or you're too dirty, you need to, like, people don't give feedback.
But in the opposite, they are going to do what you want them to do.
Maybe they're very agreeable.
Yeah, they're very agreeable. That's the word. Okay, next. Nothing in common. Facts about our relationship. I am totally bored when Rob is not chasing me around the house.
Guilty.
So what I do, I chase him.
When I'm doing consulting calls, you're doing shorts and all kinds of stuff. Sometimes you're cleaning the house.
I'm not really good in long distance relationship.
Yeah, that's right. When I'm in the other room.
When you're in the other room, I felt like, where is he?
Where am I? Yeah.
He's out of my sight.
I know.
So do we have really nothing in common? We have a lot of things in common.
I think we have a lot in common. I mean, we have a strong spirituality. We have a strong
You both believe in bad karma, correct?
We both believe in watching your karma. Yeah, we really do. What goes around comes around, and do unto others. And, I don't believe in sharing the gold unnecessarily, and you're okay with that. You said the other day that it's a number one mistake a man can make. Mm-hmm. And we have same sense of humor, things like that. So there, people who aren't in a relationship like ours, they can't fathom how it could feel so normal and natural. Like, I was married 27 years to a woman a year older than me, and for 25 of those years it was a real love affair, and we were best friends, and I feel the exact same way just on the day-to-day, hour-to-hour with you.
People have things in common and differences because it is designed. You cannot have your partner to have really everything in common because there will be a clash if you have differences. So it's like it's like fitting in alternately the things in common and the differences.
In the color of personality, they talk about how opposites attract. And, if you're type A and you want to fight over where to go for dinner, what time to go see the movie, what time to go to dinner, what route to take, you don't want another person exactly like you in the car. We're a little bit opposite in that we match up that way, but then we have so much in common. And it does feel perfectly, but you were married to a man younger than you, 3 years. Chrissy was married one time. Yeah. But you were in a 7-year relationship before you got married.
Yeah, 7 years.
How does it feel? He was 3 years younger. I'm 37 years older. What does that feel like for you?
Very different. I feel like in that relationship when I was with a younger man, I feel like I'm the one that is in charge to make the relationship intact. Unlike now that, I can rely on you. You're the one that knows a lot. So, I'm learning from you.
Be careful, because we got comments last time that you're not really going to speak your mind, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, God forbid you say something I don't like. Are you talking truth to power right now?
Well, I'm the one that edits it, so I can edit out everything I want to edit out.
Okay. All right. I will say one difference. You are not very self-centered. I mean, you have your passions and you have, girl things like makeup that you like.
Yeah.
But you're not that self-centered, and you're certainly not high maintenance like a lot of women in the West. Comment below. Do you think Chrissy's probably less high maintenance than the average woman in the West? What do you think?
I'm high maintenance. I want to cuddle all the time.
She's a big cuddler.
I demand it.
Demands it. Okay. She just wants a visa.
Now let's talk about who's who. Who really used
I got the visa. When we came in from Vietnam, I got a 1-year stamp because I married Chrissy. I'm the one who got the advantage.
So who's using who?
Yeah. But people think that all Filipinos want to do is they want to get the visa, they want to get the green card, and they just want to start pulling on the string of the sweater and bring it back for your mom and your dad and your brother and your sisters. That's why California's got like 3 million Filipinos.
You know what? In a relationship, it's very important that each couple can give advantages to each other. It's not that one other person will give you advantages and you will just receive and receive. It should be like mutual. So if having a visa to America because of you is an advantage for me because we're married, what's wrong with that? You know, it's a couple thing.
But we chose to live here in the Philippines. I want to make my, look, we pay $900 US a month for this house. You may have seen a tour when Michael Smith from That Philippines Life visited for the wedding. And it's crazy. This same house in America would be $4,000 a month, $6,000 a month over the ocean. We have a canyon and the Cagayan de Oro River behind us. You can make your money go here crazy far. So we chose to live here in the Philippines. Chrissy spoke previously how when she first went on the dating site, she thought she would only meet men that wanted to bring her back to the West. And I was worried that by not wanting to bring you back to the West, it would make me a less attractive candidate.
Yeah, but it didn't, right?
Yeah.
We're here.
We're here. Maybe we're proof that it's not always about the visa.
Yeah.
Because we have no plans at this point to go back other than to visit.
But don't forget, guys, that he used me for his visa
That's
in
right.
the Philippines.
Okay. All right. It's my turn. All right. She's too young to understand love.
Like what I always say, that age doesn't determine emotional maturity.
I think that a lot of Filipinas are more emotionally mature and more mature in general than their Western counterparts, especially if they're an older sibling. They had to, like, you dropped out of school 2 or 3 times to go do housekeeping work for some families that weren't that nice. You have a lot. You're the oldest. You have a lot of younger brothers and sisters. So at 31, you seem to be a lot more mature. Now, I think Filipinas are extremely emotional. And mastering their emotional maturity can be a real challenge because that is what drives their jealousy and sometimes Asian tampo. And all I ever ask of Chrissy is that she show advancement and growth when these issues pop up. I think as a man, you have to be more understanding. You have to understand the culture you're in. Asia does, disagreements through avoidance and passive aggressiveness sometimes. Now, I don't want that in a woman. And Chrissy let me know that she could master that and would work with me to make sure it wasn't a problem. And I think she's done a good job. And, she's not the same person she was when I met her in terms of emotional maturity. She has a lot. We hang out with 10 other
Make it clear. They might think I've changed and became westernized. They always ask us
But we
that.
hang out with, we play cards tonight with 10 Westerners, and they're Filipinas. And a lot of those Filipinas have been with those men for 10 years. And so there's a lot of introduction of other ways of doing things and understanding Westerners and how to kind of get Westerners to get you. And I think because of that, you have changed.
Yeah, and in a positive way.
Yeah.
So regardless of the age of the Filipina, maturity will be measured through how they gonna treat you, how they gonna act when
times
they're
are
together.
tough, when there's disagreements and feelings get hurt. But I think being able to grow as a person and communicate is really key. All right, what do we got here?
You will grow apart over time.
Oh my God, I used to love you and now,
I don't love you anymore.
It's like that movie. What was the name of that movie? That was the line in the movie, the Filipina OFW movie.
Oh, hello, love again. I don't love you.
I don't love you anymore.
I don't miss you.
Oh my God. In the movie, they loved each other so much, but their shtick was they would tell each other,
I don't love you.
Instead of saying goodbye, I love you, they would say, I don't love you anymore.
Yeah. Growing apart. It's not impossible that there will be a situation that you will feel like, you are like being apart to each other. And in any relationship, even if it's not an age gap or foreigner Filipina, you will experience that. But it's normal, I think. There will be times, especially when you are in a very tough moment, you will think the other person doesn't love you anymore because this happened. But it's not, I think, if you're gonna work on it, you're just gonna
that's the key.
Communicate. You will surpass that kind of stage.
And we've done videos on the lazy, bad communication styles, exaggerating, black and white, minimizing, yelling, shouting, threatening. If you can get your interpersonal communication game under control, and you practice and you stay on top of that, whether you're in a relationship with anybody, a coworker or a wife who's your own age, or if you're in an age gap relationship, taking that seriously, I think, is the key.
Yeah. Here in the Philippines, they said that couple at first, they started as strangers. Then they become people who know each other. Then they become friend. They got married. They become couple, lovers. And then after that, they will become best friends. And when you grow old together, they said that you will become like brother and sister in one house in the Philippines. Yeah. But I didn't hear about falling apart, having your own. But, you know, there are couples that doing that right now.
I mean, you got to keep the romance alive too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No problem there.
No problem at all.
Okay, next. Is it me? It must be me. Let's see. Oh, well, this is what we're talking about. It's all about physical attraction. It's just like the chemistry, the endorphins. Chrissy, people say there's nothing there. It's transactional, and it's about the chemistry and wanting to jump the other person's bones.
Mm-hmm. You know, I've mentioned before that the advantage of dating a person online is that you will connect your spiritual and emotional and mental first.
Occasionally, when you meet the person, you don't want to jump their bones.
Yeah, so it's very important. Physical is very important. It's part of the system.
Yeah, it got to be there.
Yeah, it's got to be there. But when you said you're just attracted to the person physically and there's no emotional and there's no spiritual, it's hard. It's hard to stay in a relationship without that connection.
I think you shouldn't get in a relationship without that connection. I would tell you a red flag is if you become best friends and you become spiritual partners and you meet the person, you don't have that overwhelming desire to get physical. You should stop and back up. And if that person is not your best friend, but you love the physicality, you should stop and back up. And if you disagree on, karma and your spirituality, you should probably think hard about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if
it's you. Yeah.
So if I'm gonna ask you, would you rather be in a person where you connected emotionally and mentally than physically, or have strong physical connection but no emotion and
I have,
spiritual?
I have the benefit of having lived a lot longer than you, Chrissy, and I thought at one point in my life that I could be in a relationship where the physicality was really, really good, but the friendship and the other components were weak. And I stuck it out for 3 or 4 years, and then I came to realize I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I wasn't willing to, cheat on the person because I wasn't as attracted to her as I should be, but I had to break up the relationship. And so I'm in my consulting practice, Chrissy, I always tell people, if you don't have a strong physicality, you got to have it all. You got to have all the components, or don't go forward because it won't last. Yeah.
Yeah. I asked you once that, what if 5 years from now I'll go bigger?
Like me?
Is the physical connection will be different?
I think for men, because we're so visual, and I think whether it's men or women, I just got married and I got a little chubby, but it's part of my normal routine. I'm going to lose the weight. But I think if you gain 40 pounds as a woman, if you stop taking care of yourself, if you, go on a bad diet and you get round, a man is going to have a hard time dealing with that. And I think a woman would too, actually. I think, men and women are really more similar. I think men are more visual, women are more emotional. And, it's what's said is more important sometimes. But men are extremely visual. I always say if you show a man, a woman, a good-looking woman washing the hood of a Corvette, he'll marry her. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So comment down below. What's your thought about it?
Yeah.
Would you rather date a woman where you connected emotionally or physically?
Yeah. Okay.
Not starting family.
People say, hey, if you're not able to start a family, you're going to be missing the glue that kind of bonds people together. And this is a real disadvantage. And, Chrissy's willing to have more children. I told Chrissy when we first met, I got 3 grown children and 6 grandchildren and counting. And, I just didn't feel that I wanted to have a child. I would feel obligated to go back to my corporate job and send the kid to a good school in America. And I just didn't want that burden late in life. But we love children.
Yeah, of course.
And when we met, you had a 4-year-old son. He just had his birthday the day we met.
Yeah.
And since then, he's come to live with us, and he goes to private school, and we have a 5 3/4-year-old in the house. It's young enough that he can bond with me. And now your sister, who's half-sister, who's 7 years old, she's finishing up school and will be coming here full-time shortly. And we will have 2 children in the house, 6 and 7 essentially. And I think that is awesome. A lot of people have opinions about whether you should date a single mother. Boy, you've gotten some crazy strong opinions. Chrissy did this video and showed you date a single woman. Oh my God. We get a lot of support, but even now, still months later, like 1 a week, some guy writes in, or even some woman recently wrote in, trashing the idea of dating a single mother. But, you know, it does provide a family, and if you love children and if you have more resources than you need to consume yourself, or you don't need to leave those resources to your other children, it's a great idea that you can get something and give something back too.
Yeah. And, you know, even my kid is not your kid. There's something in there that connects us still, since you're supporting the kid. So it connects us.
He's, you know, he was 4 years old when I met him.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine said, Rob, you got to get that kid in the house right away, because you don't want to bring him in when he's 8, 9 years old. He'll be too old to bond with you. I believe that's important, that you find a child who's young enough that you can bond with, and you'll feel that sense of family.
Yeah. And who said we don't have a child? We have YouTube. We treated it like our products, right? It's like our babies. Our videos are our babies. We got a lot of like 200 babies now.
Yeah, but the algorithm is like a tangerine, out of control child. This algorithm, what is going on with the algorithm? It's like a Rubik's Cube and a Chinese finger puzzle all put together.
Yeah, so for those people who said we don't have really something that connects the two of us because we don't have a child, our YouTube channel is what really connects us.
A passion project. And we always say it's a good idea to have a passion project in an age gap relationship.
Yeah, that's
charity, scuba, skydiving, tennis, pickleball, whatever, golf.
Anything that will connect you both and you're both interested with and you're both happy with.
Yes. Okay, socially unacceptable. It's socially unacceptable. It's half your age plus 7. You know, Chrissy, love is love, and it's worth fighting for. Now, the thing about the Philippines is we don't get a lot of stink eye. We hang around. Like later today, we're going to cards. There'll be 10 of us there with younger Filipino women, ranging in age from 63 to 74. The women will be aging in range from 29 to maybe 53. The average would probably be like us, 68 and maybe like 30. We're 31, 68 and 31, but maybe 68 and like 33, 34 would be the average. And we don't feel socially unacceptable. We hang out with expats and their wives. When we're at the mall, we don't get stink eye. Occasionally, people are looking at Chrissy going, wow, there goes Miss America.
You know what? If you will let yourself surrounded by close-minded people, that is the time you will feel you're not accepted with the society. But you know, you can't really control it because the world is full of open-minded and close-minded people. So, you know, it's up to you if you're gonna receive the negative comments from other people and you're gonna plant that in your heart and let it grow, or throw it in the trash can. You are giving a lot of advice to these people. You had like almost 200 clients, right? And consulting clients, and then you're giving away a lot of advice in our videos. Do you think you can still get some that really want to talk to you and get some information?
I think there's plenty of men who would like a big brother in the Philippines. And you're my secret superpower. Chrissy, you do all the social media. Wonder Woman. You're really the reason the channel's successful. You do all the social media investigations, and for our clients where we provide our Big Brother service, we allow you to do a small social media review, and you answer their questions and read some of the text messages they get from the women. And you know what's really interesting is we started this about 10 months ago, and we've had over 200 individual clients, and so my perspective has changed. You know, I had my own anecdotal experience from having met you and learned about the Philippines, but now when I consult with clients, I can talk to them without giving away individual private details. The experiences of these other 200 clients, whether they were scammed or they were successful, the hotels they stayed in, the weather they experienced, the Filipino cultural things, dealing with families. So I have more experience. And because of that, Chrissy, I've decided to write a real book. You know, we've produced some ebooks and we give those away for free, but we do have and what's the title?
A Modern Man's Guide to Living, Traveling, and Finding Love in the Philippines.
And right now, the first draft, it's about 200 pages, and it has 25 addendums. It's like a CIA fact book of the Philippines. And we put a lot of work into it. We still have another week or 10 days to finish it up. Stay tuned. We're going to not give that one away, but we'll provide it with our consulting clients. So, Chrissy, it's February. Valentine's Day is coming up. Do you have a Valentine's wish for our subscribers?
I wish that you will find the one that you're looking for. And if you need a big brother here in the Philippines with his Filipinas perspective, just email us at flymetothephilippines@gmail.com.
Don't forget to subscribe. Send us a comment. Hit the like button. It really helps our channel. And for Valentine's Day, send some love. Till next time, from Fly Me to the Philippines.
See you in our next video.